All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you taking the time out of your, I'm sure, busy Sundays or Mondays, wherever you are, to hang out with us here at the Power Team a little bit, talk about what's been going on lately, and where we're going in the short term, and a little bit where we're going in the long term. Um, so we appreciate the time, and with that, we'll kind of get started on our list of talking points, and then once we get through those talking points, we'll go into some questions. So the Dragonhold team should still be coming. Um, they should have at least one representative up here in a little bit to talk to us a little bit about what's going on with Dragonhold, formerly Powerful Dragons. If you're familiar with them and you haven't been keeping up with Power as much, or Dragonhold, they sort of rebranded to Dragonhold, as they're kind of doing a little bit more than what was originally going on when they first started as Powerful Dragons. So we should hear from them in a little bit. The first thing that we want to address, the elephant in the room, right, is the sudden pause in rewards. I know a lot of people weren't seeing that coming. We were just sort of assessing the current amount of yield that was going on in relation to the things that we have coming out, like the signing, like the storms, Power V2, and our approximate release windows for those things. So we just thought the best way to help everybody in the future is by taking a little bit of a sort of a kick in the pants right now with pausing rewards. Let me make it abundantly clear, if you guys take anything away from this section of the AMA, is that we do intend to compensate everybody for those rewards missed during this non-accumulation period. We really don't like any type of um, management that could be construed as theft or treating people unfairly, and so we never ever aim to do that, right? So we don't want to just pause those rewards and go, oh, sorry, those days don't count, because a lot of people do, very specific time calculations on when they're going to hit certain benchmarks for their reward structure, and we don't want to mitigate that for people. So definitely plan to compensate everyone accordingly, and that pause on rewards we expect to be done pretty soon. We're realistically, I would imagine it, and I'm not guaranteeing anything, done this week, where we get back on with yielding rewards. When those rewards come back on, it will be in Power V2, which a little bit about Power V2, how that's going to work is once the rewards come back on, you'll be accruing in Power V2 instead of Power V1. Your rewards will stay the same. So if you had, let's say, 300 power to claim, you'll still have 300 power to claim, but it will be Power V2 instead of just regular power. So when you claim it, you'll receive those tokens. We'll also have another sort of tab, like how there's the Treasury tab, whatever. You'll click that. There'll be a giant orange button that says swap Power V1 for Power V2. And you'll pay that gas fee, and it'll give you a 1-to-1 ratio of your old power tokens for the new Power V2 token. So if you have 1,100 power in your wallet, you click that button, you pay the quarter of a cent in gas or whatever it is, and then you'll be the 1,100 power V1 will be taken out of your wallet, and then you'll be receiving 1,100 power V2. The liquidity will also be moved at that time. So if there's a little bit of a lull period where you're not seeing any Power V2 liquidity, just know that we're in the middle of moving that pool accordingly. So also the website, keep in mind, everywhere on the DApp will be displaying your holdings of Power V2. So don't freak out when we release Power V2 and the rewards are back on. You go to the DApp and you see there in the top right corner that you have 0 power, and before you had 6,000 tokens. You still have them, you just have to swap them for V2, and then that will display Power V2 on the DApp for you. So definitely do that so we can get those original power tokens off the street and get them retired as we make our transition to Power V2, which should, unless we totally miscalculated how we plan everything out, alleviate the ST16 error, which is at this point an infamous, almost meme level error. We all hate it. We all know it. So people should be able to do claiming correctly on their nodes, their generators, and we'll make sure to move those liquidity pools over for the staking. And right around the same time as Power V2, well, I use the word same time, is the signing feature. So a lot of people are a little bit confused about signing, so I'll just go ahead and give a quick little 3-minute breakdown of how that signing is going to work. So you can come in and sign anytime, but it's recommended that you sign at least once every 30 days, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the website, into the DApp. There will be a pop-up every 15 days. And if you don't get the pop-up, that's fine, because it'll still be a button around the generator tab area, or the tiers list, where you sign it. All you're going to do is pay gas. So again, if a quarter of a cent breaks the bank, don't invest in DeFi, I guess, is really where you should be. So you'll sign the transaction and just pay the gas. And essentially what that'll do, that'll give you another 30 days of your nodes, your generators, to operate functionally the same as they are now. If you miss that 30-day period, right, so you're day 31, here's what's going to happen. Your generators will stop accumulating rewards, right? It'll be like how it is right now with rewards on pause. You'll still be able to claim your existing rewards that you've accumulated. So using an example, if you maybe had 405 accumulated rewards on day 30, day 31 comes, that stops, right? You can claim those still, but you have to reactivate your generators after day 30. And what that's going to cost you is it's going to cost like a certain cost basis for a nuclear, hydro, wind, solar, and 50,000 energy tokens per generator. 50,000 across the board, whether it's a nuclear or a hydro. That's about $3 right now with the price of energy, so it's nothing crazy. Now you'll get another pop-up on day 45 warning you about day 60, because day 60 is an important day. It's the last day to be able to pay to restart your generators and hold or still have those accumulated rewards. So if day 61 comes around and you had those 405 power tokens, day 61 you will not be generating rewards, and all of your unclaimed tokens will be forfeit. And then you'll still pay the same fee to reactivate them. We will never take your nodes from you. We're not going to deactivate them for life with this feature. That's something that we don't feel is right. With only a 2-month sort of window there, that's something we're not sort of comfortable with, being the people like with the fiduciary responsibility of your investment. So, but to take care of all of our active investors after that 60-day mark, you will be sort of reset back to zero, and you can always restart those generators. The fees don't go up. It'll always be the same, but just know those unclaimed rewards are forfeit. And we're really pumped for this feature because it's done. So we're releasing it today. After this AMA, we'll release a little announcement, and that signing feature will go live. So I recommend to each one of you guys, set a reminder on your phone, just every 15 days, go in and sign. If you have one Phantom, that's great. That'll last you like 3 years worth of signing. Like, you're gonna make it if you have one Phantom in your wallet. So go in there, sign, set a reminder on your phone, your computer, whatever. Have your wife hit you every 15 days, whatever you need, and go do that signing. So from there, we plan to continue to move towards building the Power Storms feature that we've talked about in some of our looking forward announcements. Power Storms kind of work a little bit akin to a fee, but what's nice about the Power Storms, unlike some other node-based sort of projects that you see where you don't pay the fee, your nodes, or in this case your generators, just stop or die or are forfeit, or you have to keep paying month after month. Like, let's say you miss 3 months, you have to pay 3 months of fees even though they haven't been generating. That's not how these Power Storms are going to work. You can continue to receive rewards even if you don't want to pay the fees. So right now, and everything that I'm about to say, again, take this is the important part moving into this, is up to change, right? We have a base model that we feel pretty confident that we're going to follow, but just know that this is up to change moving forward. We're shooting for about every 15 days. There'll be a universal Power Storm for all of the generators in our ecosystem. So that way everybody can kind of have a community response and responsibility to know, hey, it's 15 days. Let me remind my fellow power holders on Twitter to go and take care of the storm. So the storms will last for 5 days. And during those 5 days, you'll have a 30% reduced yield in rewards. If you pay the fees, which is a percentage based off of that 15-day yield period for that node. So it's all going to be the same, just based off of however much your yield is. If it's a nuclear or a hydro, it's just percentage based off of that. And you'll pay in power and in phantom. So we'll take the base value of that yield and then just split it 2 ways. So you'll pay in power and phantom. And let's say that you have that storm comes and you pay on day 1. You lose that 30% yield reduction and you go right back to normal. If you wait till day 4, as soon as you pay on day 4, you lose that constraint on your yield production and it goes back to normal. You have all of day 5 to pay, right? As soon as day 6 rolls around, the storm is gone for everybody. But if you didn't pay your fee, your node is going to be permanently crippled. So these aren't the numbers that obviously a nuclear generator uses, but let's say that you generate 10 tokens, right, every 15 days. If you don't pay that cycle, you'll be stuck generating 7 tokens every 15 days. So, and then that process will just happen over again when the next storm comes. So if you're generating 7 every 15 days and you don't pay your fee again going into the next storm, you'll get a 30% reduction on that. So theoretically, your nodes could go down to essentially what is a yield of 0 tokens, right, functionally. To forever mitigate that, just pay the fee, or maybe you hit ROI on power, back during that last run when we went up to $40, and you don't feel like putting the fees in, just let the nodes run out until they're functionally dead. Just keep signing and never put another dollar into this project. Our goal across the board, and I think we've echoed this really, really well, is that we want people to have a customizable experience. Invest, in a way that you feel is comfortable. You say, hey, times have been tough with inflation the way it is. I just can't justify putting more money into DeFi. I need to take as much out as possible. Let those nodes run dry. Don't put any money into them, because with this 15-day cycle, we will be reducing that claim tax period dramatically, because we don't want to have people feeling like they're kind of getting beaten up 2 ways with, well, the claim is 45 days at a time. If you have a storm coming every 15 days, how does that work? We want to make sure that you have the most optimal opportunity to claim every time there's a storm, to reflect that sort of change in generator upkeep structure. So every 15 days, go in, do the storm, sign your transactions, and you should be operating just as you are now. That's sort of our battle plan. With all of this, we hope to do a couple things. Between Power V2, we want to get rid of there's approximately 500,000 to 600,000 power tokens sitting in wallets right now. That's not unclaimed rewards. That's claimed in wallets. So you can imagine how difficult of a process that was making for us to do buybacks, to keep the rewards pool filled when people were just holding tokens down, and how many of those accounts were abandoned, lost, stolen. Their owners, rest in peace, maybe passed away. It's innumerable. We have thousands upon thousands of wallets that hold power tokens. So with the Power V2 system, you go in there and you exchange your tokens at a 1-to-1 ratio. But if you aren't paying attention, you never come to the DApp, whatever, that's okay. You're no longer hurting our ecosystem and our ability to service active investors. So that was something important to us that we kind of work on as far as optimizing our active investors' user experience. So our last little thing to talk about is that with this Power V2 and the storms, we will be seeing about a 60% reduction in the staking pool yields. The staking pools are going to be sticking around, but because those are subject to issues like seen with the ST16 error with claiming on the generators, we just feel that it's in the best interest of everybody right now during this sort of market cycle that we're in, that we take a little bit of the APR. I mean, a little bit is kind of being generous. Take a good portion of that APR off of the table for the staking pools at this time. Again, we're making painful decisions right now so that we can be alive in a year. We can be alive in 18 months and not just, let everybody kind of, get a whole bunch of rewards, and then we die off. That's not what we want. We want to continue to build a strong, ever-evolving protocol for you guys, and that's only going to happen if we prevent ourselves from bleeding out. So that's kind of our look forward at this point for the next month. We have some other one or two exciting pieces of design coming for you guys that'll help to some more revenue streams for Power, but once we get those details really pinned down, we'll be coming out with that pretty soon. So with that being said, if people want to come up, now's the time. Dave Murr 85, if you want to go ahead and come on up. We'll get Ruski up here after Dave asks his question. We'll hear from Dragonhold, and then we'll get back into the questions. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Good, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, mate.
All right, cool. So just to kind of recap, I missed a few minutes of it in the beginning.
Thank you for getting
did you guys happen to mention what was going to happen to the fact that it's paused right now? Are we going to be recuperating what we have lost so far?
Yes, that is part of our plan. Yep.
Okay. And then as far as the storm goes, that fee that you were talking about, does that get a larger fee based off of how many generators you have?
No. So the fee, I mean, naturally, if you have 10 generators or 100 generators, it's going to be by the numbers larger than the person with 10 generators, right? But Andos and I were just having a discussion a little bit before this AMA. Moving forward, we might have some like lifespan-based yield reductions, just again for survivability. If you've had a node that's been around for 4 years, and I'm just like going out of hand here, that node has had the time to spawn off 15 to 20 other generators. So these people that already have 60, in a year's time, they'll have 6,000, right? So obviously capping that with time is something we're probably going to do based off of percentage of ROT, right? So if you've had return on tokens 6x times, we're probably going to work on a sustainable solution to sort of reducing those rewards so that one person doesn't just sort of whale splash the entire system.
Okay.
That's a little farther down the line. Right now, we feel that Storm's reduction in staking, signing, and Power V2 is enough to really carry us for a good while, and then it'll give us time to really work on sustainable opportunities to mitigate mass bleed out from one or two wallets in ways that we feel are fair, not only for that holder but for everyone in the community.
It's the best. It's the best option so far that we've come up with for sustainability long term. So, I've never liked the idea of a node cap at all because I think it's a death to a project. Once a certain amount of investors are in, if you cap it, well, then that's it. But I think, after a certain ROT point, which will obviously be worked out mathematically to benefit the investor, it gives the chance to say, all right, they either want to continue their investment, they double down, they stay in again for another X amount of time, or they compound in, or they can just let it go. And they said, all right, I've made my investment, it's been a good run, I've made X amount of dollars on my investment, and then pack it up and move on to something else. Or if they want to continue, then they double down instead of just potentially buying one nuke and then just being able to compound until eternity, until it cripples the project. So something needs to be done at some point, but whatever does get done will obviously be looked at really strictly and in depth mathematically. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't hurt anybody. It won't be a quick decision. And that's for sure.
I just remind everyone here, not just you, Dave. Great questions, by the way. That in the words of our late great former leader Renegade, this is an experimental space, right? We can only have conjecture as to what we'll be looking like in 6 months. Right? The direction we're going is pathways that no one has paved before. We're the guy in the front of the group with the machete, and you're going to hit some snakes when you're the guy in the front of the group with the machete. So everything is subject to change. It's an experimental space, and nobody knows what a node project looks like that's 5 years old. They just don't exist, right? So we are doing everything we can to make all of the right decisions, but we just ask that everyone bear with us and keep that in mind, that we're doing the best we can with the knowledge that we have of how these systems work long term.
Yeah, and the trickiest part about it is making adjustments to existing projects instead of just starting a new project from scratch with a knowledge base or ideas that you might have and going from a brand new standpoint compared to having existing things in place and then having to work around them and alter them without completely turning off the project for a long period of time to fix things. It's a lot harder to do, to make corrections compared to just starting a new project.
Yep.
So it doesn't make things easy.
All right. Then just one final thing. I really like the idea of Power 2, being able to weed out the people that are longer active or can't be active because their wallets were either taken over or abandoned. Do you think because of that and the new things initiated that there might be a price increase as well to the Power 2?
Sure, hoping so.
I mean,
that's the plan.
I can always hope our price goes up, but I want to make it abundantly clear that I cannot make any price predictions.
Right.
My goal as in the position that I'm in the position of the team, is to keep the project as functioning as smoothly and as successfully as possible. And if price moves as a response to good management, then that's, we're high-fiving ourselves, right? But I can't make any price predictions. I just don't feel that it's right or fair to anyone to say, yes, we're going to go up. Yes, we're going to go down. I sure hope. I always want us to go up. I can only hope that by us making the right decisions over the long and short term, that we do always see price appreciation.
Yeah, the V2 obviously allows us to keep moving, progress, and expand. Whereas, once again, the existing things that we do are limiting, or you could say stagnant. So, I mean, if you can come to the conclusion that maybe we'll see a price increase with future development, which wouldn't have been possible before, then you could say that. But yeah, I hate price predictions. We can have hopes, but yeah.
Right, and it's the same address as the old Power.
It'll be a new token address, which will be in the announcement as soon as it comes out.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That satisfies all my questions.
Excellent. Thanks so much, man. It was good talking to you. Have a good day.
You too, guys. Have a great day.
See you, mate.
All right, with that, Ruski, if you want to take the floor and tell us a little bit about what's going on at Dragonhold, that would be great.
Yeah, thanks again for having us. Apologies that the person that was going to speak for us wasn't able to make it. So my time's going to have to be short, as we just came home with our newborn son yesterday.
Congratulations.
So as you can imagine, things are crazy, but I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. So just to touch up and bring people up to speed, I know it's been a while since we've been around and really been able to talk to this audience. But for those of you who are aware or part of our project, we were a project that was trying to be adopted by Power as a more of a node giveaway project. But as we developed and found the core strengths of our founding team, that being myself, my name's Ryan. I'm saying this because we're a fully doxed team. My name's Ryan. I do marketing full time. Work for a couple different companies, one of which we spend about $250K a day in ad revenue. We do everything from YouTube, Google, Facebook, TikTok, all over to different types of digital marketing. And then I do another one that's just kind of like a more smaller company, but I run like YouTube and TikTok and Twitter ads for them as well. Then we have Shahan, who has taken on the CEO, CTO role with our company. Company being now Dragonhold and no longer Powerful Dragons. He has 10 plus years of running startups, companies with 200 plus employees. He's our lead developer for Web3, Web2 front end, back end stuff. Taking care of smart contracts and hiring on the dev side and technical side. And then his brother Shalil, he's someone who's been in game development for a little over 6 years now, been on some extremely successful teams. Most notably and recently, he was working on a game that was actually licensed to be launched on Nintendo. But that was right when COVID was at a peak. And so unfortunately, family matters happened where he had to move home and take care of some family issues. So him and his brother now live together, but that's kind of our core team building everything and running the project. So to kind of tell you where Powerful Dragons morphed into, we moved away from a node giveaway project into a what is right now a pre-production play to earn game, using these dragon themed NFTs that we had created. So the game itself is, first of all, I'd like to say a game that's not here to make anyone rich. It's a game made by gamers for gamers, and all three of us love to play games pretty much whenever we can. We're here to build a game that's fun, that's something that people get addicted to playing, something that's competitive, something that you want to log in every day and check your progress, uncover more of the lore, discover more of the land. So the type of gameplay it is going to be kind of like an isometric open world. Large scope for the view of the project that we have is something that would be similar to the feel of a game like Fortnite, but looks and plays kind of like old school RuneScape. So there's going to be like PvP arenas. There's going to be different like little buildings and shops where you can go and play like competitions, different games. It's going to have a whole lore and a world and a story that you're going to want to uncover about your character itself. And there's going to be like loot boxes, and we've actually been in discussions with Chainlink. So Chainlink has recently come into Phantom, and we've been talking with them for the last couple of months about being a flagship play to earn game that's going to feature their VRF and keepers technology. So what that is essentially taking off-chain data and being able to verify that on-chain so that we can do stuff like DNFTs. What's a DNFT, you might ask? That's a dynamic NFT. So let's say you were to be playing a game and you were to go around and open a loot box and uncover a new item that you can equip to your NFT or your champion, or you were to go to the item shop and buy something with all the tokens that you were able to acquire from playing the game. That then, once you equip it, will then change your NFT on the blockchain and make it more rare, more powerful, whatever it may be. But it's taking that off-chain data, verifying it on-chain, and changing that on-chain data to make it more valuable or not. So that's kind of like the main scope of what this project is. We're currently working on getting all the game assets built and ready. Right now we have some game mechanics coded. We have a puppet ready. So we're getting closer and closer to an alpha test that holders will be able to access. But I don't have an exact timeline for that yet. The next thing we are releasing would be a free mint collection, actually. So the free mint collection will be available to the current Powerful Dragon holder. Everyone will be able to mint one per wallet, and then you can also stake these current Powerful Dragons that we have to earn the in-game token, which is SSC or Silver Scale tokens. The use case for adding right now before the game is ready for these is with these free mint collectibles that will be in-game, kind of like pets that follow you around down the line, kind of be more of like a flex or a status symbol. You get one free mint for having a dragon with your wallet, but then let's say you wanted to mint more in the pre-sale before we open it up to public, you would just burn some of the XSSC tokens that you got from staking, and it would enable you to mint however many, depending on however many you are able to spend or be able to purchase more pre-mints, so to speak. So that's kind of the next thing we're rolling out with our project is that pre-mint collection. Can't really leak too much about it. I posted a small little image of it, of what like our first models are looking like, and all I can really say is we're calling them the Nutty Dragons, and we're going to be dragging these nuts across the blockchain. So we're trying to have a little bit of fun with that, and something that a lot of people can joke around and relate to. And then I guess one last final thing I wanted to touch on about the current NFTs that we have, the Powerful Dragons. We've actually turned these into what will be revenue sharing or founders member statuses of our Dragonhold game. So each Powerful Dragon itself will take part in revenue sharing of any profits or revenue that's generated from our game. It'll be split evenly across all the NFTs themselves. We're doing that because we are no longer making these NFTs as the in-game characters. We're going to be doing the dynamic NFTs that will change as you go throughout the game. So we're creating a whole nother NFT set that will be the playable characters. If you have 10 of the Powerful Dragons, you will automatically get airdropped one of those dynamic NFTs instead of having to pay and mint one once they're ready. And on top of that, let me just, pull up my notes. It's going a little crazy.
No,
So aside from it being a founding member of our Dragonhold game and having the revenue share, you will get governance or voting power to determine changes or things that will be updated in the game. You can start earning the in-game token Silver Scale early by staking that dragon.
think
You will
about it,
also
I
get a
want it.
pre-sale access to the gold scale token, which is the token secondary token we'll have that would have liquidity on an exchange. This is one that will hold value, where the silver scale is more of like a, I don't want to say a dummy token, but it's not going to have any liquidity. You can't go and like swap it for power or for USDC. It's something made specifically rewarding for you in game, and we're doing that to kind of go away from the model that these other play to earn companies are going for, where it's like you play and you earn a token, and you can just constantly play, thus dwindling down the value of the token. So these gold scale tokens would be something that you can go and we'll have LPs for. You can use to enter tournaments or be rewarded in from a tournament. All the total use cases haven't been fully released yet, but that will be the token that will hold value and is not a reward token. It's a token that is purchased and held and staked and etc. I already touched on the dynamic NFT itself. Holding these powerful dragons also will give you lifetime discounts across current or future like items that we release in our store that we're going to create, our marketplace. Also off of like, let's say, game tickets or loot boxes, etc. It'll give you sneak peeks and early access to anything that would be released for the game. We're also doing contests and giveaways for this project. So we have weekly contests right now or giveaways where you can earn extra tokens, the XSSC. And we're also working on like a weekly game competition where either it's going to be a no entry cost to enter, and you can get rewarded in XSSC tokens, or we can do some weeks having a small entry fee, like let's say everyone puts in 10 Phantom or 10 Power, and then that generates a reward pool, kind of similar to a lottery, but having a gamification behind it. So yeah, other than that, there's the secondary market, increased value in trading of these because they are revenue sharing, all the other access and stuff it'll give you. So that's kind of my long-winded spiel of everything that's been going on with our project. But yeah, if anyone has a couple questions that I can answer, or if you guys have anything that I can answer, I have a couple minutes before I gotta go attend to my baby.
Yeah.
No, it sounds good to me. Yeah. Sorry, I'll let you go, Mascot.
I was just saying, if anybody has any questions, raise your hand. We'll bring you up. Ruski, thanks for your time. Very in-depth explanation. I know I've had my Dragonhold NFT for a long time, and I'm looking forward to playing the game. Also, anything on the Phantom Network is something I'm excited for because for all of its growing pains, it's still a wonderful network, and I love Phantom, and I think that it has a really bright future. So seeing exciting, fleshed-out projects like the Dragonhold team building on the network is really exciting because this is not just a group of guys that woke up one day and said, let's make a game. They've been working on this for months and months. And if you know DeFi, months and months is a long time to build something. So I'm really excited moving forward. So with that, I thank you for your time, Ruski. Feel free to hang out up on stage. And if someone comes up and has a question, fire away. But with that said, Beast Bay, what's going on, man? Let me go ahead and unmute you here. What's up?
Just want to say what's up to everybody. Ruski, congratulations on the baby boy. Kids are a blessing. I got 3 of my own. I was wondering how close Dragonhold is to a playable demo.
Yeah, so we don't have a launch date set for like an alpha test version. While we do have basic game mechanics set for it already encoded and like a dummy puppet built, we still have a lot of game assets that need to be purchased or built and acquired, which is kind of like a reason why we're doing this free mint collection idea. It's kind of the meta in NFTs right now, and the idea would be to use this project as a way to acquire new eyes from people and then get them interested in what our main project actually is. So at the end of the day, the only thing that can determine how fast things are built is how fast we're able to mint out our Powerful Dragons collection, which is what we're using to fund the whole creation of the game. Let's say nobody does mint another dragon from here on out. That doesn't mean that we're not going to build the game. We already have the people as our core team who can build out the full project. It's just going to take longer to create because we won't have the extra funds to either, let's say, hire new artists or expand the team. So.
Okay, cool. I definitely do plan to mint some more of the Powerful Dragons maybe in the next week or so. And then for the power project regarding the storms, I personally, I don't know if anybody else out there is like this, but probably so. I'm away from home for quite a bit. So, regarding the storms, would it be possible to prepay for the storms for the month before they happen, or are you guys dead set on okay, the storm's coming, you can pay day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, etc., or whatnot? I hope that question made sense.
That makes sense. I do understand it. I don't know how it goes on a contract side. What do you reckon, Mascot? Maybe Paul have to jump in on that one.
Talking about reiterate it one more time.
Prepaying for the storm fee or in preparation for the fee in case the person is to go away for an extended period of time.
Yeah, that's something that we're still looking. I've been thinking about a lot with the guy who's in charge of the majority of the development on this particular project piece. I'm thinking how to best go about that, right? Because it's sort of a community event, right? Like how I stated earlier. So going about that in a way that's fair for everyone is something that I'm still mulling over. Because I understand that people are gone a certain amount of time in life, but you also have to weigh in the fact that, like, if you made it this far to create a MetaMask account, to get onto the Phantom Network, to fund that Phantom Network, and then to buy power, you probably have a reasonably often accessible access to the internet. So it's tough to say, allowing people to just sort of circumvent this thing that we've set up as like a unifying community event. So it's definitely something that we're balancing, right? There are certain cases that we're working with. Like there's one gentleman in one of our tickets who's an active serviceman in the United States military. And I get that, right? If he's over in the Middle East in the desert serving his country, he's not going to be able to hop onto his MetaMask account as often. But those are far and few in between. So making sure that people don't arbitrage an abusive situation, because obviously we can't verify certain things, right? We're not going to ask for people's credentials. They don't ask that of us. We're not going to ask that of them. So finding a sustainable middle is definitely something that we're working on, but I can't make any guarantees about that at this time.
Yeah, there's got to be a healthy balance here. Like I said, generally speaking, if you do go away for an extended period of time, I'm going to say generally, not every time, but generally, you do have some access to internet of some kind. I mean, I do most of my stuff mobile, and I AnyDesk back to my computer, and I can access that from anywhere in the world at any time. Well, as long as I've got some sort of signal. But yeah, unless you're in one of them very rare situations where you're completely off grid. I mean, I'm going to say it's an extreme minority, and the project would still have to look after the majority. And I'm going to say it's a very big majority. So whatever we do put in place, or the final thing that is going to place, there is going to be a chance that a very tiny minority might not be suited, but it is also necessary to benefit the vast majority. A call has to be made at some point. I mean, I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't mind the idea of a prepayment, but maybe like how far do you go? Like you prepay for that month because you're going to go for that. You're going to go away for 1 month, and it's like a once a year thing. But then you can't do it every month, and you can't prepay for multiple months. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of things you could probably figure out there. But yeah, I'm going to say that it's going to be a very small minority that are in that situation where they go off grid and don't have any access to any internet for more than 2 weeks at a time. So we kind of got to take that into consideration.
Yep. And you also see the inevitability of people arbitraging time, right? If you pay your fees a year in advance compared to the guy who pays it monthly, I know that's his personal investment decision, but it comes back around on us, right? The team will hear it, the community will hear it, versus, again, keeping that an even playing field for everybody across the board at all times. It's just tough to say. And that can negatively or positively impact the price of the underlying assets, right? If everybody pays their fees a year in advance with power, and power is 15 cents, then when power is $1, those fees didn't help to really benefit the appreciation in the price in the long term. So you get an unequal, you're essentially getting an unequal distribution of rewards.
Yeah, it's an underrepresentation. Yeah,
Yep.
it kind of needs to be, that way. I think like I said, everything's up for change. Anything can change. So I think we can probably brainstorm on it and spend a bit more time on it to try and find the perfect solution. There might not be one, but we can definitely go backwards and forth and try to find one. But yeah, it might end up being a situation where the vast majority wins on that one.
Okay.
But
I
we can
mean,
try.
that's perfectly fair, and that answered my question. All right. Thank you guys for your time.
Thanks, man.
All right, thank you, brother. We appreciate you. Anybody else wants to come up? There's not any hands raised right now, so now's the time. If you want to come up and ask a question, feel free, or we can all kind of get out a little early, enjoy our Sunday. So I'll give it another 60 seconds here. Any remarks from the Power team? Anybody have any comments or concerns that they'd like to share with the community? Any words of encouragement? All right, sweet. So I'm not seeing any hands come up. So if that's the case, I just want to say on behalf of the entire team, the dev team, Cut, our owner, founder, CEO, I speak to him multiple times a week. He is still very involved in the back end of Power. As a lot of people probably don't know, he's not a native English-speaking individual. So that doesn't help when it comes to not seeing him in announcements and not seeing him in the community. He uses us as his mouthpiece, and that's just because he has a lot going on. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders managing Power. And when you translate that across a sort of English second language barrier, it can be a lot for someone. So he is active. He's around. We love Cut. We talk to him all the time. He's just more in the background, but he is first and foremost our leader here at Power. Last question by Y2 Bugs. Come on up on stage, and then we'll close
Before
it out.
Y2 gets into it, I just want a big shout out to the community helpers. You guys are dead set awesome. I mean, I jump in the chat. I'm usually there looking over everyone and seeing what's going on, and you guys are smashing out answers to questions before I can get a chance to do it. So yeah, super appreciative of the effort you guys put in. Definitely making my life a lot easier and the rest of the team's life a lot easier, and giving us time to buckle down and work on the other side of things on the back end while you guys take care of that. It's been super helpful. So I thought I'd just shout you guys out because definitely appreciate you. And I'll let Y2 get into it now.
I don't think he say. I think he declined it at the last minute. So, with that being said, I think we will. Did he raise it again? Oh, Beast Bay wants to come back. All right, last question by Beast Bay. We'll call it there. Gotta just accept that invite. There he is. What's going on, brother? Welcome back again.
Just wanted to shout you guys out for the project. Thanks to all your team for keeping on building, because I mean, certainly you guys don't have to, so it's always good to hear that things are happening and the project is progressing and things are changing. That's always a good sign. So thank you guys. Thank all of you guys.
Hey, we do it.
Thanks,
We do it for you guys. I mean, we're investors. Every single member here on the team, every single team member, was an investor first, right? So we, first and foremost, are part of Power because we love Power. We believe in what Power can be. And servicing such an awesome community is great because we all know that Power Chat is no new friend to FUD. But we, I think, in this chat, across DeFi in general, keep this the most real out of all the Discords that you see. I think that everybody here is pretty well grounded in the reality of crypto and everything in the space that we're in right now. And that means a lot to us that we don't have to baby you guys. You know, when times are hard, we're in there and chat with you and we say, it's hard, this sucks. And so having that space that you guys build for us, that we can just be honest, you know, and not feel like we have to sugarcoat the truth, and we can all just sort of agree, it's tough, it's hard right now. That helps us to be a team that wants to build for a community that we love. So with that being said, we will catch you guys next time around. We'll probably shoot to do another AMA in about 2 weeks. And we will just keep chugging away.